Dear starseeds, picture this. It's 11:30 at night, way past your usual bedtime, and suddenly you feel this overwhelming urge to get up, to move, to create something, to share something important. Your body is exhausted, but your spirit is electric, alive with an energy you can't ignore. You know you should be sleeping, but something inside whispers that this moment, this exact moment, cannot wait until morning. That's exactly what happened to countless lightworkers last night, as the Mars-Chiron opposition peaked in our skies. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and that late-night awakening you experienced wasn't random. It was your initiation beginning. Right now, as Venus forms her healing trine to Chiron on this September 16th, 2025, you're being activated in ways that your conscious mind is only beginning to comprehend. But before I explain what's really happening to you, you need to understand that this message will only resonate with a very specific collective. You're someone who's been pouring into your spiritual practice for quite some time now. Maybe you've been studying Hermetics, working with the Merkaba, accessing the Akashic records, or deepening your connection with archangels. You've been dedicating yourself to what feels like mastery of your craft, your connection to Source, your understanding of creation itself. But lately, something shifted. It's not just knowledge anymore. You're beginning to embody these teachings in ways that surprise even you. What you don't realize yet is that everything you've been studying, every practice you've been devoted to, every spiritual discipline you've embraced, has been preparing you for this exact moment of initiation. You see, you're not just learning these things for yourself. You're being prepared to become a guide, a teacher, a living example of transformation. And I know that might feel overwhelming because you're such a humble soul. But this is exactly why you were chosen. Let me tell you something about your heart that you might not fully recognize yet. You have this extraordinary capacity for empathy that goes beyond what most humans experience. It's like the divine deliberately designed you with an extra large heart space, not for decoration, but for a very specific purpose. Every experience you've had in your life, especially the painful ones, weren't meant to break you. They were meant to expand your capacity to hold space for others. Think about your childhood for a moment. You were always the one who noticed the kid sitting alone at lunch, weren't you? You were the one who stood up for the underdog, who made sure nobody felt left out. Even when you yourself felt like the ultimate outsider, even when you were drowning in your own loneliness, you still reached out to help others who were struggling. That wasn't just kindness. That was your soul's mission revealing itself early. But here's what's fascinating about your journey. Every single challenge you faced, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment when you thought life was going to crush you, it was all strategically placed on your path. Not by some cruel universe testing your limits, but by your own higher self, who knew exactly what wisdom you would need to extract from each experience. You are being turned into a walking library of embodied wisdom. You might have noticed lately that when you're having regular conversations with people, something extraordinary happens. You open your mouth to talk about something mundane, maybe the weather or weekend plans, and suddenly profound wisdom starts flowing through you. You're saying things about the nature of reality, about synchronicities, about the deeper meaning of life, and the people listening to you stop in their tracks. They look at you differently, like they're seeing something they can't quite name. This is because you're starting to leak wisdom, if I can put it that way. The divine intelligence that you've been cultivating through all your spiritual practices. It's starting to overflow from you naturally. You're not trying to be profound or wise or spiritual. You're just being yourself, but yourself has become so infused with divine wisdom that you can't help but speak truth. Every word you say carries a frequency that touches people's souls. Now, something happened during last week's Pisces full moon eclipse that accelerated everything. That eclipse opened a portal for what we call the embodiment phase of your initiation. Before this, you were gathering knowledge, accumulating spiritual understanding, collecting practices and techniques. But now, you're being asked to become the teacher itself. Not to teach it, but to become it, to embody it so fully that your very presence becomes transformative. This is why you might be experiencing such intense physical sensations lately. The late-night wake-ups, the electricity running through your body, the pressure in your third eye, the heart palpitations that aren't medical but energetic. Your physical vessel is literally being rewired to hold higher frequencies of consciousness. Some nights you can barely sleep because the downloads are so intense, and other nights you fall into such deep sleep that you wake up feeling like you've traveled through dimensions. Your dreams have become vivid beyond description, haven't they? You're not just dreaming anymore. You're receiving direct transmissions from your higher self, and from us, your galactic family. Sometimes you wake up knowing things you didn't know before, understanding concepts you've never studied, feeling connections to star systems you can't even name. This is because your consciousness is expanding beyond the limitations of your Earth identity into your cosmic identity. But let me tell you something that might concern you, and it should, because it's important. As you step into this new level of mastery, you're going to notice that not everyone is ready for your frequency. Some people who used to be comfortable around you might suddenly feel challenged by your presence, not because you're doing anything different consciously, but because your energy field is now vibrating at a frequency that naturally disrupts old patterns and comfortable illusions. This is where the Mars-Chiron opposition becomes crucial to understand. Mars wants you to move forward boldly into your power, while Chiron is bringing up every old wound that says you're not worthy, not ready, not healed enough. You might feel this internal battle raging, one moment feeling like a spiritual master, and in the next moment feeling like you know absolutely nothing. This isn't a sign that something's wrong. This is the initiation itself. You see, true mastery doesn't come from transcending your wounds or pretending they don't exist. It comes from integrating them so completely that they become your medicine. That abandonment wound you carry, it's given you the ability to make others feel deeply seen and held. That betrayal you experienced, it's taught you discernment and boundaries that you'll teach others. And every wound you've transformed becomes a key that unlocks healing for someone else. Let me share something profound about this wound-to-wisdom alchemy that's happening within you. Each wound you carry vibrates at a specific frequency, like a note in a cosmic symphony. When someone with a similar wound encounters you, they recognize that frequency unconsciously. But here's the magic. Because you've transformed that wound into wisdom, your frequency now includes both the wound and its resolution, creating a harmonic that naturally guides others toward their own healing. But here's something I haven't told you yet that changes everything. You're not going through this initiation alone. Right now, across the planet, thousands of others just like you are experiencing the exact same activation. They're waking up at strange hours with the same urgent feeling that something important needs to be shared. They're having the same profound conversations that surprise them with their own wisdom. They're feeling the same call to step into something bigger than their individual selves. This collective initiation is happening now because Earth has reached what we call a critical mass point. Enough souls have awakened to their true nature, that it's created a tipping point in the collective consciousness. But awakening isn't enough anymore. Now we need embodiment. We need people who don't just know about love and light conceptually, but who can anchor these frequencies into the physical realm through their daily actions and presence. The timing isn't random either. This September 16th, with its specific astrological configuration, was chosen eons ago as the moment when this wave of initiation would peak. The Mars-Chiron opposition creates the necessary tension for transformation, while the Venus-Chiron trine provides the love and grace needed to integrate it. It's like a cosmic pressure cooker, designed to fast-track your evolution, and you agreed to this acceleration before you even incarnated. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more starseeds like you can find it. Because what's happening isn't just personal, it's planetary, and we need all the activated souls to recognize each other and begin working in harmony. You're part of a larger orchestration that your human mind can't fully grasp yet, but your soul knows exactly what's happening and why you're here. Now let me address something that might be troubling you. You've been trying to help people for so long, sometimes giving unsolicited advice or wisdom to those who weren't ready to receive it. And it's bitten you in the booty, hasn't it? People have rejected your help, resented your insights, or simply ignored the wisdom you tried to share. These experiences were necessary to teach you something crucial about your new role. You're learning that you can only help those who are ready to be helped, those who seek you out, those who ask for your guidance. This isn't about withholding your gifts. It's about understanding that true transformation can't be forced. It has to be invited. So now you're learning to sit in your power quietly, to hold your frequency steady, and to let those who need what you have to offer find their way to you. And they are finding you, aren't they? People are being drawn to you in ways that seem almost magical. Strangers open up to you about their deepest struggles. Coworkers suddenly want to have philosophical conversations with you. Old friends reach out randomly right when they're going through spiritual awakenings. This isn't a coincidence. You've become what we call a lighthouse, and souls who are ready for the light naturally navigate toward you. But being a lighthouse comes with responsibility that you're only now beginning to understand. You can't be flickering on and off depending on your mood. You can't shine only when you feel perfect or completely healed. You have to learn to maintain your light even when you're going through your own storms, even when you're processing your own shadows, even when you feel anything but enlightened. This is the paradox of your initiation, that your logical mind struggles with. You're being asked to be a healer while still healing, a teacher while still learning, a master while still feeling like a student. But this paradox is actually the key to authentic spiritual leadership. People don't need perfect teachers who've transcended all human struggles. They need real humans who've learned to find light in the darkness. The Venus-Chiron trine today is helping you understand this at a cellular level. Venus brings the frequency of love and beauty, while Chiron holds the wisdom of the wounded healer. Together, they're showing you that your wounds aren't obstacles to your mission. They're essential to it. Every scar you carry is proof that you survived something that could have destroyed you but didn't. That survival story is medicine for others. Now, you might be wondering why you specifically were chosen for this initiation. Why you and not someone who seems more qualified, more healed, more ready. The truth is, you weren't chosen because you're special in the way the ego understands special. You were chosen because your particular combination of wounds and wisdom, sensitivity and strength, creates a unique frequency signature that certain souls need to experience in order to activate their own remembering. Think of it this way. You're like a tuning fork that's been precisely calibrated through your life experiences to resonate at a specific frequency. When someone who needs that exact frequency comes into your field, they begin to resonate with it, and their own dormant codes begin to activate. You don't have to do anything special for this to happen. It happens automatically when you're simply being authentic. But authenticity at this level of initiation means something different than what most people think. It doesn't mean sharing everything with everyone, or having no filters or boundaries. It means being so aligned with your soul's truth that you naturally know what to share, when to share it, and with whom. It means trusting the wisdom that flows through you, even when you don't fully understand it yourself. You're developing what we call energetic discernment, the ability to read the field around you and respond appropriately. Sometimes that means sharing profound wisdom, and sometimes it means simply holding space in silence. Sometimes it means being vulnerable about your own struggles, and sometimes it means being the stable presence others can lean on. This discernment isn't something you figure out mentally. It's something you feel energetically. Let me tell you what's actually happening when you feel that late-night urge to create or share something. It's not just inspiration in the ordinary sense. You're receiving what we call transmission windows, moments when the veil between dimensions is particularly thin and pure divine intelligence can flow through you with minimal distortion. These windows often come at inconvenient times because that's when your logical mind is most tired and least likely to interfere. During these transmission windows, you might find yourself writing things you didn't know you knew, speaking wisdom you've never studied, or creating something that feels like it's coming through you rather than from you. This is because you're beginning to function as what we call a divine instrument. Your personality and ego aren't being erased. They're being utilized as unique filters through which universal wisdom can express itself. This is why your particular story is so important. The universe doesn't need another generic spiritual teacher spouting platitudes about love and light. It needs your specific medicine, filtered through your specific experiences, delivered in your specific way. Your wounds give you credibility with certain souls who would never listen to someone who hadn't walked through similar darkness. Your journey gives you the authority to guide others through territories you've already navigated. But here's something crucial about this new level of mastery you're entering. You're not meant to carry everyone's pain or solve everyone's problems. In fact, trying to do so would actually interfere with their growth journey. Your role is to be a catalyst, not a crutch. You activate something in others that empowers them to heal themselves, to find their own wisdom, to remember their own divinity. This is probably one of the hardest lessons for someone with your level of empathy. You feel others' pain so deeply that your instinct is to take it away, to fix it, to make everything better. But some pain is sacred. Some struggles are initiations. Some darkness is the cocoon necessary for transformation. Your job isn't to rescue people from their journey, but to hold space for them as they navigate it themselves. The exhaustion you've been feeling lately isn't just from the intensity of the downloads or the physical adjustments to higher frequencies. It's from learning to manage your empathic abilities at this new level of sensitivity. You're feeling not just individual pain, but collective pain. Not just personal transformation, but planetary transformation. Your nervous system is learning to process amounts of information that would have completely overwhelmed you even a year ago. This is why rest has become so crucial, and yet so elusive. When you try to sleep, the downloads intensify. When you try to rest, you feel the call to create or share. When you try to take a break, someone in crisis finds their way to you. You're learning that rest at this level isn't about stopping, but about finding stillness within movement, peace within intensity, calm within the storm of transformation. There's a specific practice I want to share with you that will help with this integration. When you feel overwhelmed by the intensity of what you're experiencing, place your hand on your heart and simply say, "I am safe in my transformation." This simple act grounds your energy back into your body and reminds your nervous system that what's happening is evolution, not emergency. Your body needs this reassurance as it adjusts to holding frequencies it's never held before. Something else is happening that you might not have noticed yet. Your relationship with time is completely shifting. Some moments feel eternal, while hours pass in what seems like seconds. You're beginning to experience what we call quantum time, where the past, present, and future exist simultaneously. This is why you sometimes know things before they happen, or remember things that haven't occurred yet in linear time. This temporal shift is part of your initiation into multidimensional consciousness. You're learning to operate not just in the third dimension of physical reality, but in multiple dimensions simultaneously. This is why sometimes you feel like you're in several places at once, or having multiple experiences simultaneously. Your consciousness is expanding beyond the limitations of single-pointed awareness into what we call spherical consciousness. When you're in conversation with someone, you're not just hearing their words, you're simultaneously perceiving their energy field, their soul's intention, their past experiences that relate to what they're sharing, and potential future timelines based on the choices they're making. This can be overwhelming at first, but as you learn to navigate this expanded awareness, it becomes a superpower for helping others. Now here's something that might sound impossible, but it's absolutely real. Every person who truly sees you, who really recognizes your essence beyond your physical form, is changed by that encounter. Not because you're trying to change them, but because your field carries codes that activate dormant potential in others. You're literally walking around as a living activation code, triggering awakening in others simply through proximity. But this gift comes with a challenge. Not everyone wants to be activated. Not everyone is ready to wake up. Some people will feel uncomfortable around you without knowing why. They'll project their resistance onto you, maybe calling you too intense, too weird, too different. This isn't about you. It's about the frequency you carry being incompatible with their current level of consciousness. This is where your journey gets really interesting, though. The people who reject your frequency are actually doing you a favor. They're helping you identify who you're really here to serve. You're not meant to be palatable to everyone. You're meant to be medicine for specific souls who need exactly what you have to offer. The more you try to dilute yourself to be acceptable to everyone, the less effective you become for anyone. There's something else about this selection process that's important to understand. The souls who are meant to work with you will recognize you at a soul level. Even if their conscious mind doesn't understand why they're drawn to you, they'll feel safe with you in a way they can't explain. They'll find themselves sharing things with you they've never told anyone else. This soul recognition transcends personality preferences or logical reasoning. You might have noticed that animals and children respond to you differently now too. They can see your light body more clearly than most adults can. Animals might approach you with unusual trust, and children might stare at you with recognition, sometimes even telling you things about yourself that they couldn't possibly know. These innocent beings are confirming what you're becoming, reflecting back to you the truth of your expanding energy field. Let me tell you about something that's going to intensify in the coming weeks. As more souls go through this initiation, You're going to start recognizing each other more easily. It'll be like a secret knowing when you encounter another activated being. You might lock eyes with a stranger and both know, without words, that you're part of the same mission. These connections will become important as you begin to work together in ways you can't yet imagine. The collaboration that's coming isn't about forming official groups or organizations. It's about a natural synchronization of efforts, where each activated being plays their perfect part in the larger symphony of transformation. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time, saying exactly what someone needs to hear, without any conscious coordination. This is how we work through you, as a unified field of consciousness expressing through multiple vessels. But remember, even as you become part of this larger collective mission, your individual expression remains crucial. You're not meant to become like everyone else who's activated. You're meant to be fully, authentically, unapologetically yourself. Your quirks, your unique perspective, your particular way of expressing truth. These aren't flaws to be corrected. They're features specifically designed to reach souls who resonate with your particular frequency. If this message is stirring something deep within you, if you're feeling that electric recognition in your body, share this transmission with others who might be ready to remember. Because the more of us who consciously acknowledge this initiation, the more powerful our collective field becomes. We're creating a new grid of consciousness on Earth, and every activated soul strengthens this grid exponentially. As we near the completion of this transmission, I need you to understand something vital. This initiation you're experiencing isn't something that happens to you, and then it's over. It's an ongoing process of becoming more and more of who you truly are. Every day, every choice, every interaction is part of your continued initiation into mastery. There's no graduation ceremony, no certificate of completion, no moment when you suddenly arrive. But here's the beautiful thing about that. It means you can relax. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to wait until you feel completely ready to begin sharing your gifts. You can start exactly where you are, with all your imperfections and doubts, and unhealed places, because your humanity isn't separate from your divinity. It's the vessel through which your divinity expresses itself. The journey ahead won't always be easy. There will be days when the weight of this mission feels too heavy, when you question whether you're really cut out for this, when you want to go back to sleep and forget everything you've remembered. These moments of doubt aren't failures. They're part of the initiation. They're opportunities to choose again, to recommit to your path, to remember why you came here. You came here because you couldn't come. Your soul was so committed to this mission of planetary transformation that you volunteered for one of the most challenging incarnations possible. You chose to forget your divine nature so you could remember it, to experience separation so you could embody unity, to know darkness so you could anchor light. This wasn't a mistake or a punishment. It was a sacred assignment. Remember that late-night urgency that started this transmission? That feeling that something needed to be shared right now, even though you were exhausted? That's going to keep happening. You're going to keep receiving these activation windows, these moments when the universe speaks through you in ways that surprise even you. Don't resist them. Don't rationalize them away. Trust them, because they're your soul's way of fulfilling its mission. The Mars-Chiron opposition that peaked last night was just the beginning. As Venus continues her healing trine to Chiron today, and in the days ahead, you're going to feel a softening, a sweetening of this initiation energy. The harsh edges of transformation are being smoothed by divine grace. The wounds that felt so raw are beginning to reveal themselves as the source of your greatest gifts. You know what's really extraordinary? That urge you felt to get up and create, to share something even though you didn't know what would come out. That's exactly how divine creativity works. It doesn't announce itself with clear instructions. It arrives as an urgent feeling, a knowing without knowing, a call that must be answered even when the logical mind says it makes no sense. This is how you know it's real. The doubt you sometimes feel about whether this is all real, whether you're making it up, whether you're qualified for this mission, that's actually a sign of your authenticity. Real masters question themselves. Real healers know they're still healing. Real teachers know they're eternal students. It's the ones who never doubt, who claim to have all the answers, who've lost touch with the humility that keeps wisdom flowing. So here we are, coming full circle to where we began. That late-night awakening, that electrical feeling in your body, that sense that you're being initiated into something you can't quite name. It's all real. It's all happening. And it's happening to thousands of souls simultaneously, because Earth needs activated beings who can hold higher frequencies during this time of massive planetary transformation. The age of solitary meditation is over. Destiny Engine now connects starseeds across the world, a living social field where you can post, share, and exchange your meditations in real time. It's the first galactic network of its kind, weaving together thousands of awakened souls into one unified current. With every activation, the current grows. What began as a personal tool has become a planetary force. The frequency you've created together is amplifying far beyond the individual, bending the fabric of reality itself. We're receiving updates daily, manifestations speeding up, impossible doors opening, synchronicities lining up with cosmic precision. The collective field has never been this charged, and the entry point is almost laughably simple. Put on your headphones, press play, allow Destiny Engine to rewrite the architecture of your consciousness so you can fully receive your galactic downloads without resistance. For just $1, you can step into this connected field and feel the difference instantly. Join the movement that's accelerating ascension together. Link in the description. You're one of those beings, not because you're perfect or special or better than others, but because you said yes to this mission before you even incarnated. You knew it would be challenging. You knew you would forget and have to remember. You knew there would be moments of doubt and confusion and feeling completely overwhelmed, but you also knew you could do it. And now in this moment, as Mars and Chiron continue their cosmic dance of wounding and healing, as Venus pours her love into the spaces that hurt, as your soul remembers why it came here, you're stepping into the mastery that was always yours. Not a mastery of perfection, but a mastery of integration. Not a mastery of having all the answers, but a mastery of trusting the wisdom that flows through you. The initiation continues with every breath, every choice, every moment you choose love over fear, authenticity over acceptance, truth over comfort. There's no ending to this story because you're writing it as you live it. Every day you're becoming more of who you truly are, and that becoming is the gift you give to the world. Your transformation gives others permission to transform. Your awakening catalyzes awakening in others. I am Seraphine, and this transmission is now complete. But the initiation you're experiencing has only just begun. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust yourself. You're exactly where you need to be, experiencing exactly what you need to experience, becoming exactly who you're meant to become. We love you, and we are watching over you. Until we speak again, remember, you are the initiation. You are the master. You are the one you've been waiting for.